What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including a rumored Randy Orton return date, stars missing Forbidden Door, Roman has 2 title defenses coming up, is WWE revamping its talent roster, LA Knight getting a match at Night of Champions, a Raw superstar headed to the men's Money in the Bank match, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts. And now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at Randy Orton's rumoured return date. At top of today's news is the latest on Randy Orton's status with WWE. Specifically, is Orton returning to in-ring competition? Fans have heard so many rumours about Orton, with some stating his return is imminent and others stating he'll never return to the ring due to his back issues being too bad for him to be cleared. According to Ringside News, there was even a ridiculous rumour making the rounds that the Viper had suffered a heart attack, a rumour discredited for anyone wondering. But now they have information that should make fans of the Legend Killer happy. Randy Orton has been out of action for far too long, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel for the Viper. We're told that Randy Orton has a return date in the future. It's not this summer, but it is in the calendar year. If history is any indication, it's possible Orton could be back at any time. It's common practice for promotions to leak misinformation to ensure fans are surprised when a wrestler actually makes their return. While there are exceptions, such as AEW making CM Punk's return an intentionally bad-kept secret, there are so many instances of promotions stating someone isn't coming back only for them to come back that fans should know better. Next up, many AEW stars missing Forbidden Door. Forbidden Door, AEW's second collab with New Japan Pro Wrestling, will be here soon, but there are reportedly a slew of grapplers who won't be able to work the show. Dave Meltzer is reporting in this week's Wrestling Observer newsletter that due to New Japan's business relationship with Lucha Libre Promotion CMLL, certain wrestlers who work for AAA are not allowed to work at Forbidden Door. However, the situation isn't cut and dry. Meltzer used the example of Andrade to show how some AAA wrestlers can work Forbidden Door while others likely won't be able to. His Andrade situation is interesting because last year New Japan wouldn't let him on Forbidden Door because CMLL said he was a AAA wrestler, even though Kenny Omega actually is the former AAA World Champion and he's headlining Triple Mania in a title match weeks after Forbidden Door. But he's fine not only to work Forbidden Door, but for New Japan in Japan. Lots of AEW guys have worked for AAA and have been champions there, like FTR and Sammy Guevara. However, Meltzer listed wrestlers he believes won't be allowed to work Forbidden Door. But there is a list of AEW talent which I believe would include Bandito, Vikingo, Rush, Commander, Penta, Phoenix, Andrade, Jalistico, and probably others who aren't expected to be allowed on Forbidden Door due to New Japan's strong ties with CMLL. The rules are different if you're Mexican. AEW certainly isn't lacking in talent where the absence of these stars is going to sink Forbidden Door. Nonetheless, it doesn't mean fans won't be able to see certain wrestlers compete against some of New Japan's finest. Are there any wrestlers on the list that you wish could compete at Forbidden Door? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Roman Reigns has 2 title defenses coming. It looks like WWE plans to have Roman Reigns defend his Undisputed World Championship at 2 upcoming PLEs. Reigns, who won't be defending the title at Night of Champions, but instead vying for the Undisputed Tag Team Championship, will be defending the belt over the summer. Meltzer is reporting, Reigns is expected to defend the title on July 1st Money in the Bank show in London and again at SummerSlam. It feels way early for Sikoa, but the top candidates on the brand would be the Usos and Bobby Lashley, and thus far Lashley hasn't been heated up to that level. Meltzer also discussed rumours that, as far as long term goes, Reigns vs Rhodes is a long term direction for the Ultimate Destination match. WrestleMania is a strong possibility, but this is far out. There are so many things that can happen. Given the WWE's love for keeping the title on Roman, a Reigns vs Rhodes rematch could happen at WrestleMania 41 or even 42. Ringside News also noted the appearances for the Tribal Chief. In addition to his match at Night of Champions PLE, Reigns is also advertised for upcoming events such as SmackDown on June 30th, Money in the Bank on July 1st, a house show on July 22nd in Mexico City, and the highly anticipated SummerSlam in August. Who would you guys like to see Roman wrestle next? Do you think there's any chances of Roman dropping the title soon, or are his upcoming title defenses more a formality? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, WWE revamping its talent roster. It looks like WWE may be making some changes to its focus on superstars who are featured on Raw and SmackDown. Meltzer commented on this week's Observer that there's a big internal focus right now to get younger age talent on Raw and SmackDown right now. Wrestling history has shown that one of the biggest mistakes a promoter can make is failing to create new talent and relying on older talent whose popularity, and often their ability to work good matches, is quickly fading. The WWE has been criticized in the past for failing to create new superstars. While this seems to have changed under Triple H, there's still room for improvement and a focus on younger players who could help maintain the WWE's popularity. Now, that doesn't mean that a focus on younger talent means older talent should be shortchanged. For example, LA Knight is 40, but his wild popularity suggests he's ready for a push just to see how far the WWE can take him. Like anything in wrestling, the WWE should be willing to pivot when needed and to do what's best for business. Next up, LA Knight match in the works for Night of Champions. Speaking of LA Knight, is he going to get a last-minute match at Night of Champions? There are currently 7 matches scheduled for the event, however BWE Wrestling reporting that there could be an 8th match on the show. Not shocking, but LA Knight was super over with the Saudis. They're discussing adding him versus Boogs during the kickoff. LA Knight is super over everywhere he goes, which is why some fans are wondering how long it's going to be before Knight gets a better push. A last-minute match in Saudi Arabia suggests this finally may be happening. Next up, a Raw star headed to the men's Money in the Bank match. There's more news on possible entrance into this year's men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We recently noted that WRKD Wrestling's report that Cody Rhodes is being considered as an entrant, and now the Twitter account is also reporting another name rumored for this year's Money in the Bank match is Dominic Mysterio. Many backstage are high on him and how he's grown as a performer over last year. A win by Dominic could create plenty of suspense concerning the WWE's World Championships, particularly if Dom stays with the Judgment Day. The idea of the conniving ex-con holding the briefcase has much going for it in storyline terms. There are so many good candidates for this year's ladder match, and the addition of the World Heavyweight Championship means winning the briefcase may actually mean something, as is now a world title where a challenger has a reasonable chance of walking away with the title. With names such as Cody Rhodes and LA Knight also listed as participating, the WWE will have its work cut out as they try to pin down the best person to hold the briefcase. They also have to deal with the perception that the men's briefcase has been a hit and miss situation and it's lost its credibility due to people winning it only for the WWE to have no long-term plans on how to cash it in. What do you guys think? Should Dominic hold the Money in the Bank briefcase? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Eric Young preparing for a WWE return. A recent tweet from former superstar Eric Young has some fans thinking he's getting ready to return to WWE. Like many wrestlers, Young enjoyed success in NXT, but saw his WWE career fizzle on the main roster. Young tweeted, "Time to work. When the world hands you lemons, well, you know the rest. See you all again real soon. Big change coming." According to Fightful Select, Young has been under WWE contract since November 2022. Normally one would think the WWE would have put Young into a program by now, even if it wanted to wait to have a strong storyline supporting him. Next up, Nikki Cross wrestles superstar for the first time ever. It's rare that a wrestler achieves veteran status without having wrestled someone at least once, but in the case of Nikki Cross, the Scottish superstar wrestled a fellow WWE superstar for the first time. Wrestling News' Andrew Ravens is reporting that Nikki battled Emma on Main Event, the first time their paths have ever crossed. Cross tweeted the news, "First time ever match against Emma." In addition, Cross also wrestled Tegan Knox, the first time they've competed in WWE and their first match in over 10 years. And finally, Stone Cold's Cold Cash. Last but not least, wrestling fans know that merchandise sales can be a sweet side hustle for wrestlers, but in the case of Steve Austin, it's proved profitable beyond what you might expect. During an appearance on SI Media with Jimmy Trainer podcast, the Texas Rattlesnake revealed just how much dough he's raked in through the Austin 316 merchandise. I don't know how much, I mean it's definitely 7 figures, probably 8 figures now. In WWE, you can get your royalty checks every quarter. Austin added the success of his merchandise led him to asking the WWE to rework his deal because apparently he felt he wasn't being compensated adequately based on immense sales of his merch. 8 figures is at least $10 million, not too shabby for supplemental income. But there you have it folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.